The old American dream is officially on life support, guys. Seriously, remember when everyone told you that the only path to a successful life was through those ivy-covered gates? You spend 4 years eating ramen, pulling all-nighters, and walking away with a fancy piece of paper that costs as much as a small house in the suburbs. Well, grab your popcorn because the $100,000 degree might just be officially over. We are watching a cultural funeral in real time. It's wild, right? For decades, the narrative was simple. Go to school, get the debt, get the job. But something broke. The script has been flipped, tossed out the window, and set on fire by a new generation that's looking at those massive price tags and saying, no thanks, I'm good. And this isn't just a minor trend, it's a full-blown exodus from the classroom. What we are seeing right now is a massive nationwide ghosting of the modern university system. It's like a bad breakup where the students didn't even leave a note. They just stopped showing up to orientation and started showing up to the internet instead. But where are they going? Are they just sitting on their parents' couches playing video games? Not even close. They are flocking to the digital gold rush. While the ivory tower, that's what we call the stuffy, outdated academic system, is busy debating theories from the 1950s, these kids are out there building empires from their bedrooms. Imagine this for a second. While your high school friends are sitting in a boring history of cinema lecture, struggling to stay awake, there's an 18-year-old somewhere in a hoodie making 6 figures. They aren't writing essays, they're writing code, running high converting funnels, and managing viral content. It sounds like a movie, but it's the new reality of the 2020s. People are starting to get really loud about this too. Critics and savvy students alike are calling the modern university system the most expensive subscription service in human history. Think about it. You're paying thousands of dollars every single month for access to information you can literally find for free on YouTube or specialized forums. The scandal is real, and the academic elites are absolutely losing their minds. They've spent centuries as the gatekeepers of knowledge, and suddenly, the gate is wide open, the walls are crumbling, and nobody is using the front door anymore. Why pay for the prestige when you can pay for the profit? Let's look at the stats, and let's give them a little bit of attitude because the numbers are honestly staggering. Enrollment is plummeting across the country. Deans are shaking in their boots, clutching their pearls, wondering where all the tuition money went. The data doesn't lie. People are choosing practical skills over theoretical prestige. Why spend 4 years learning how to think about a job when you can spend 4 months actually doing the job and getting paid for it? This degrees versus dollars debate is currently blowing up every single social media feed. Every time you scroll, there's another viral video of someone showing off their useless degree while they work a job that has nothing to do with their major. It's a total mess. A complete chaos of the old world clashing with the new. Before we continue diving into this rabbit hole, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. We love seeing how far this digital revolution is reaching. So who is actually winning this game? You'd think it would be the honors students, the ones with the 4.0 GPAs and the perfect attendance records. But spoiler alert, it's not. The winners aren't the ones following the rules anymore. The ones coming out on top are the ones who realize that the safe bet is actually the riskiest move you can make in 2024. The world has changed, and the traditional path is looking more like a financial suicide mission every single day. Stay tuned, because we are about to reveal who is actually pulling the strings in this new economy. And it's definitely not the ones with the highest grades. The shift is happening right now under our noses, and if you aren't paying attention, you're gonna get left in the dust of the old world. So who are these people actually winning the game? We're calling them the new A-listers, but they aren't your typical Hollywood stars or sports heroes. We're talking about the college dropout 2.0. These aren't the slackers of the past who couldn't handle the workload. These are the architects of a whole new digital world. They've replaced the frat parties with high-stakes Zoom calls and the overpriced textbooks with high-ticket sales scripts. This new breed of elite doesn't care about a graduation cap or a piece of parchment. They care about their conversion rate and their personal brand. And honestly, can you even blame them? When you see someone your own age making more in a single weekend than a senior manager at a corporate firm makes in an entire quarter, the allure of a stuffy, windowless classroom starts to fade pretty fast. Let's talk about the face of this entire movement, because you can't discuss the digital empire without mentioning the Mr. Beast effect. Jimmy Donaldson didn't spend 4 years studying media communications in a lecture hall to learn how to capture a global audience. He just went out and did it. He bypassed the entire academic system, proved the old gatekeepers were completely obsolete, and built a brand that rivals multinational corporations. He is the ultimate blueprint influencer for a generation that realized you don't need permission from a university board to be successful anymore. This ripple effect has created a wave of young creators who see university not as a stepping stone to a career, but as a massive anchor holding them back from their true earning potential. And who exactly is leading this charge? It's the Gen Z rebellion, and they are taking no prisoners. This generation is leading the charge against student loans with a level of ferocity we've never seen before. They watched their older siblings and parents drown in debt for degrees that didn't even guarantee a decent paycheck, and they decided right then and there that they weren't going to be the next victims of the ivory tower. To them, the university system isn't a prestigious institution, it's a financial trap. They're looking at the math and realizing that starting their adult life with a $100,000 deficit is the fastest way to lose the game of life before the first whistle even blows. What does the typical profile of a quitter even look like today? It's definitely not someone sitting around doing nothing. It's the 18-year-old dropshipper who spent their entire summer learning how to source products and run targeted ads while their peers were busy picking out dorm curtains. It's the 20-year-old software whiz who taught themselves Python through online communities and is now pulling six figures as a remote developer for a Silicon Valley startup. These are the digital hustlers. They prioritize ROI above everything else. If a class isn't putting money in their pocket or teaching them a skill they can monetize tomorrow morning, they simply aren't interested. It's brutal efficiency at its finest, and it's working. Of course, this trend isn't going over well with everyone. The boomer traditionalists and academic elites are absolutely clutching their pearls right now. You've got professors who have spent 30 years in the same office, breathing the same dusty air, who are genuinely confused by what's happening. They are looking at these kids with their ring lights and their laptops and wondering where the system went wrong. The traditionalists are all over the comment sections claiming this whole movement is a trap and that everyone skipping college is going to regret it when the internet eventually breaks. But the irony is that while they're busy writing angry letters to the editor, the kids they're criticizing are busy buying their first properties or investing in the next big tech disruption. The power dynamics have shifted so fast it'll give you whiplash. Think about it. A few decades ago, a Harvard diploma was the ultimate status symbol. It was your golden ticket to the good life. But today, that prestige is being replaced by a verified checkmark and a high converting funnel. Having 1 million followers or a thriving online community is worth way more in the modern market than a piece of paper with some Latin written on it. The tech titans like Elon Musk have been saying it for years. Skills matter, degrees don't. When the biggest employers on the planet start telling you that they don't care about your GPA, the ivory tower starts to look a lot less like a castle and a lot more like a prison. So here's the big mystery we have to solve. Why did these ordinary kids suddenly decide that a degree was a liability rather than an asset? It's a radical shift in thinking that has the whole country talking. For our parents, a degree was the ultimate safety net. For the digital hustler, that same degree is viewed as a lead weight. They see the 4 years spent in a classroom as 4 years of lost opportunity and wasted time. In the digital world, 4 years is an absolute eternity. Trends change in weeks, and new industries are born in months. By the time a student finishes their sophomore year, the curriculum they started with is probably already outdated. They realize that in the race for success, the university path is like trying to run a marathon while wearing a heavy backpack full of bricks. But what exactly was the breaking point that turned the dream into a nightmare? We're about to dive deep into the receipts. Let's get into the nitty-gritty and look at the receipts, because the numbers are absolutely sickening. We are talking about a villain so massive it is literally dragging an entire generation into a financial abyss before they even get their first real paycheck. That's right, we're talking about the $1 trillion student debt monster. The ivory tower has been selling us a dream for decades. But for millions of Americans, that dream has turned into a lifelong nightmare. Think about it. Why are we encouraged to sign our lives away at 18 years old for a loan that you can't even escape through bankruptcy? It's totally wild. You can't get a small business loan that easily, but the system will hand you $100,000 for a degree in something like 14th century poetry without even blinking. It's the ultimate irony, isn't it? The academic elites will tell you it's an investment in your future, but the digital hustler is looking at the spreadsheet and seeing a total disaster. Let's do a quick ROI reality check, because the math is officially not mathing. Imagine dropping 6 figures on a 4-year art history degree. You spend 4 years studying dusty paintings and writing long essays that nobody but your professor will ever read. Now, Compare that to the startup cost of a YouTube channel or a niche e-commerce store. You can get a high-quality camera, a decent mic, and some editing software for under $2,000. Heck, you can start a dropshipping business with a few $100 for ads and a basic Shopify subscription, while the traditional student is stuck in a 101 lecture learning about things that happened 500 years ago. The digital hustler is out in the real world, testing markets, building a brand, and actually making sales. One path leads to a mountain of debt and a maybe on a job interview. The other leads to cash flow and actual ownership. It's not even a fair fight anymore. The secret sauce that the ivory tower doesn't want you to know about? It's called skill-based learning, and it is absolutely stealing the spotlight from theory-based education. In the digital world, nobody cares what you know. They only care about what you can actually do. Can you code? Can you edit a high-retention video? Can you write copy that converts a stranger into a customer? Can you manage a six-figure ad spend? These are the digital trades that the Gen Z rebellion is obsessed with. They've realized that a 10-minute tutorial from a pro on YouTube is often worth more than a 10-week course taught by someone who hasn't worked in the industry since the 90s. It's all about the how versus the what. And honestly, the how is what pays the bills. We are seeing a massive shift where being self-taught is becoming a badge of honor, not a sign of a lack of education. Now for the juicy evidence, and this is where it gets really spicy. We are seeing real-life stories every single day of people making more in a single month online than their professors make in an entire year. Can you imagine the awkwardness of that? You're sitting in a classroom listening to a lecture on business ethics from someone making $80,000 a year, while you're checking your Shopify dashboard and seeing $30,000 in sales for the week. It's a total power shift. The academic elites are losing their grip because the results are speaking louder than the diplomas. When an 18-year-old is clearing six figures from their bedroom, the safe bet of a degree starts to look like a very risky gamble. Have you seen those viral TikToks? They are absolutely brutal. You've got these students standing in front of their massive, expensive university gates, exposing the reality of what they're actually learning. They're showing their syllabuses and laughing because half the stuff they're being taught is already obsolete. One viral creator showed their marketing textbook and realized it didn't even mention TikTok. Like, how is that even possible in 2024? It's those moments that are fueling the scam narrative. People are waking up and realizing they're paying premium prices for a product that hasn't been updated in decades. It's like paying for a Netflix subscription, but all they have are black and white silent movies. The frustration is real, and it's loud, and it's spreading like wildfire across every social feed. And let's not forget the hidden perks. The laptop lifestyle isn't just about the money, it's about the total freedom. While the traditional student is dragging themselves to an 8 a.m. lecture in the freezing cold, the digital hustler is waking up whenever they want, opening their laptop and working from a beach in Bali or even just their living room sofa. There are no boring dorms, no overpriced meal plans, and no resident assistants breathing down your neck. It's just you, your Wi-Fi, and your profit margins. That kind of autonomy is addictive. Once you realize you can make a full-time living without ever asking for permission to take a lunch break, the ivory tower starts to look like a very expensive prison. The Gen Z rebellion isn't just chasing dollars, they're chasing time. But wait, is it really all sunshine and rainbows? Is there a dark side to this online easy money dream that nobody is talking about? The plot is about to thicken. The internet is absolutely losing its mind over this, and the comment sections have turned into a digital war zone. On one side, the boomer traditionalists are clutching their degrees like holy relics, typing in all caps about discipline and the college experience. They're convinced that without a diploma, you're basically destined for total failure. But then, the Gen Z rebellion fires back with screenshots of their crypto portfolios and Shopify dashboards. One side is screaming about networking at frat parties, while the other is showing off their connections in exclusive Discord masterminds. Who's actually right? It depends on who you ask, but the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. And it's not just random people online. We're seeing high-profile viral beef between global names. You've got tech titans like Elon Musk and leaders at Apple or Google basically saying, look, if you can solve problems, we don't care if you graduated from Harvard or your mom's garage. This is a massive blow to the ivory tower. The academic elites are scrambling to defend their prestige, arguing that a degree provides critical thinking skills you just can't get from a YouTube tutorial. When the guy building rockets says your degree is optional, people listen. The ivory tower is looking shaky, and the deans are definitely sweating through their blazers. Now, let's talk about the FOMO factor, because this is where the existential crisis really kicks in for students. Imagine drinking lukewarm coffee at 2 a.m. trying to memorize content for a midterm that won't matter in a month. You take a quick break to scroll through Instagram, and what do you see? A digital hustler you went to high school with is posting stories from a villa in Tulum, working by a pool. They didn't pass Algebra 2, yet here they are, living the laptop lifestyle you were told would take 20 years to achieve. That realization hits like a ton of bricks. Is the safe bet actually just a slow-motion disaster? If you want brutal honesty, check out the memes on Twitter, or X. They are absolutely savage. There's one going viral of a $400 textbook that's basically just a printed Wikipedia page from 10 years ago, or the Intro to Business professor who has never actually owned a business. Ouch! The internet is roasting the university system for its total lack of self-awareness. People are sharing photos of their expensive diplomas being used as coasters or mouse pads. It shows a massive shift in how we value that paper. The prestige is evaporating in real time, one viral tweet at a time. But wait, we have to talk about the backlash. There's a growing group of critics who say skipping college is a massive trap. They argue that for every digital hustler who makes it, 1,000 more end up broke with zero skills. They call the creator economy a digital lottery where the odds are stacked against you. What happens when the algorithm changes? They ask. It's a valid point. The critics love to point out that a degree is a safety net, while an online business can vanish overnight. Is the rebellion being sold a lie? Are they trading student debt for extreme career instability? So what do the average Joes think? Public opinion is split. Older generations see the degree as a golden ticket. But for parents watching their kids struggle with massive debt while working at coffee shops, the financial suicide mission narrative is starting to make sense. Even conservative families are saying, maybe trade school or a digital certification is better. The safe bet is no longer the consensus. It's a gamble either way now. You either gamble 4 years and 6 figures on a degree, or you gamble your time on the wild west of the internet. Is the system actually going to collapse, or is this just a temporary hype trend? The uncertainty is creating a massive ripple effect throughout society. We're seeing a total breakdown of the traditional social contract that promised security in exchange for a diploma. If the ivory tower doesn't adapt soon, it might find itself completely abandoned by the masses. If we gaze into our digital crystal ball and look ahead 5 years, the landscape of American education is going to look completely unrecognizable. We aren't just talking about fewer students in the cafeteria. We are talking about a systemic overhaul. If the current trend of ghosting universities continues, the ivory tower won't just be shaking, it might be crumbling. Have you ever thought about what happens to those sprawling campuses when nobody shows up to fill the seats? It's a wild thought. But the reality is closer than you think. Welcome to the ghost campus theory. Rumors are already swirling that some struggling small colleges are on the brink of extinction. Imagine walking through a campus where the dorm rooms are being gutted and flipped into luxury apartments for remote workers. It's the ultimate irony. The very rooms where students once pulled all-nighters could become high-end lofts for a digital hustler running a 6-figure brand. Those grand lecture halls, they might become boutique hotels or trendy co-working spaces. The places where academic elites once lectured could soon be the backdrop for a viral TikTok reel about how I retired at 22. If enrollment keeps plummeting, these institutions simply won't be able to pay the electric bill. They are being ghosted by an entire generation in real time. So where is everyone going? This is where the rise of digital trades comes in. We're seeing a shift where online communities and high-level mastermind groups are becoming the new Ivy Leagues. Forget about the prestige of a Harvard sweatshirt. The new status symbol is being part of an exclusive digital inner circle where you learn directly from people actually in the trenches. These aren't just courses, they are digital apprenticeships. People are paying for access to networks rather than dusty textbooks. Is it possible that in 10 years, a degree will just be a verified badge from a creator-led academy? It's looking more likely every day. The Blueprint influencers have proven you can learn more about business in a 3-month intensive than in 4 years of a general degree. And don't think for a second the corporate world isn't noticing. The tech titans have already fired the first shot. Companies like Google, Apple, and Tesla have been quietly removing that degree-required checkbox from their applications. They realize that if a 19-year-old can code a complex app or manage a massive ad spend, they don't need a diploma signed by a dean who hasn't worked in decades. This is a massive employment shift, sending shockwaves through HR departments. When the biggest employers on the planet stop caring about your GPA and start caring about your portfolio, the ivory tower loses its last bit of leverage. Why spend 4 years in a classroom when innovative companies are already looking for your skills today? Now, look at the economic butterfly effect. What happens to the economy when a generation stops borrowing trillions for education? It's a massive shift in capital. Instead of that money going toward interest payments for 30 years, it's being reinvested into the market, small businesses, and the laptop lifestyle. We could see a surge of young entrepreneurship like never before. Imagine 23-year-olds buying homes instead of living in basements trying to pay off a philosophy degree. It's a wealth redistribution that could supercharge the economy in ways we haven't even begun to calculate yet. But could this lead to a potential crash? Is the online money market becoming oversaturated? If everyone is trying to be a creator, who is left to be the audience? If every 20-year-old is trying to sell a course on how to make money online, isn't that just a digital snake oil cycle? We might be approaching a creator bubble where the dream itself is the only thing being sold. If the market gets too crowded, the value of digital skills might drop. Is everyone just chasing the same ghost? But what if this anti-college movement is actually the most important financial revolution of our time? We're watching the Gen Z rebellion rewriting the rules. They are proving that your value isn't determined by a piece of paper, but by what you can actually build. Stick around because the final verdict is coming. So what is the final verdict on this massive cultural divorce from the university system? We have looked at the receipts, seen the ghost campuses, and felt the fire of the Gen Z rebellion. The tea is boiling, guys, and the reality is the American education exit is not just a temporary trend, it is a structural realignment of how we value time and talent. We are witnessing the death of the one-size-fits-all path. For decades, the ivory tower held the keys to the castle, but the locks have been changed by a generation that knows how to hack the system. The Great Resignation was not just about jobs, but the classroom too. People are waking up to the fact that prestige does not pay the rent, and a fancy logo does not guarantee success. The ivory tower is desperately trying to rebrand. But how do you sell a luxury subscription service when the content is available for free through a digital trade? It is a tough sell when the digital hustler next door makes more in a weekend than a tenured professor makes in a quarter. But let us keep it 100 before we close this chapter. While we love the laptop lifestyle, the online world is no free lunch. For every success story on our feeds, thousands grind in silence, fighting algorithms that change faster than the weather. The internet is a brutal meritocracy. There is no tenure on YouTube and no safety net in dropshipping. If you do not provide value, the market will ghost you. College is a slow, expensive boat, but at least it has a map. The digital frontier is a wild ocean, and you are the captain fixing the leaks. Now, I want to put the ball in your court because this is the debate of the decade. Let us get real in the comments. Would you rather have $100,000 in student debt and a degree? Or would you rather have $0 in debt and a YouTube channel with 50,000 engaged subscribers? Think about it. One gives you a credential the academic elites respect, while the other gives you a direct line to an audience. Is the degree still the safe play, or has it become the riskiest move in the modern economy? We want to hear your stories. Did you drop out to chase a digital dream? Are you a college dropout 2.0 who found success in e-commerce? Or are you sticking it out in the ivory tower, believing the degree is still the ultimate foundation? Maybe you are a parent clutching your pearls at the thought of your kids skipping finals to film a vlog. Spill the tea. This community is where the real learning happens, and your perspective keeps this conversation alive. As we wrap up, remember that the world is changing whether the deans like it or not. While some stress over a midterm exam, others are out here building legacies and mastering the skills that move the needle. The traditional American dream is on life support, but the digital dream is awake. Whether you are in a dorm room or a home office, the only thing that matters is the ROI of your own life. Do not let a system designed in the 1900s dictate your 21st century success. The power has shifted, and the future belongs to those brave enough to build it themselves. But wait, the disruption does not stop here. Education was just the first domino. What happens when the same logic is applied to healthcare, housing, or the way we govern? You will not believe what industry is being disrupted next. We are diving deep into a sector considered untouchable for a century. Stay tuned, keep hustling, and we will see you in the next one. What's the next big industry to be disrupted? You won't believe what we're covering next time.